Alrighty, traders. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, and welcome to the session today. I've got to get myself mic'd up here, so my apologies there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and take a look and see what's going on with the market this morning. I'm looking like I'm ready for a fight, and that's absolutely right. We've got the rate decision coming up in the next few minutes. In fact, 5 minutes from now. Feds are going to, it looks like now the consensus is that the Feds are going to keep the rates unchanged. We're going to go ahead and take a look and see how that plays out, but also more importantly, we're going to go ahead and see how this reacts in the market and how the market changes, either directional bias or we have, of course, continuation of the trend. So let's go ahead and dive into this right now as we go ahead and take a look and see what's going on with the market right now. And I'm going to go ahead and share my screen right here so we can go ahead and take a look and see what it is that we're looking for. And let's go ahead and use that screen there. All right, perfect. All right, so let's go ahead and shoot this baby on. And you can see right here, there we go. So we've got currently right now, we're looking at a couple of things at the moment right now with regards to what we can expect. Now, remember, traders, that we had the Feds coming out, not the Feds, but the central banks for the Aussies as well as the Canadians last week that showed that they were going to keep the rates unchanged, but they didn't do that. They actually went ahead and changed the rates, and we had a change in the market based on what they were anticipating and what actually did come out. So we're going to go ahead and see if this is going to be the same play today as we dive into the market. So here we go. We've got about less than 3 minutes left, and we've got the federal rates expected to keep the rates unchanged. I'm going to go ahead and refresh just to make sure that the data is correct. Yep, hasn't changed. They are expecting to keep the rates unchanged. Now, we may only get a little bit of volatility in the market, some whippy-lashy movement if they keep the rates unchanged, because then everything's going to come down to the actual statement. So the Fed statement is, or at least the press conference, will come out at 2:30. The statement is coming out at the same time. So what is ever in the statement will maybe push, or no, maybe, will in fact, indeed, push the market in a direction. The question is, where's the market going to go? Now, as I quickly take a look at the US dollar CAD right here, as I look at this chart, what are we anticipating on the market right here from a technical perspective? From a technical perspective, and this goes across the board on most of the currency pairs, I'm actually expecting this to hold and price to go ahead and move. Now, if it does break down south, obviously there'll be a different ball game. All right. So let's go ahead and see what it does. I will talk you through it as I start monitoring the market's movement. I will talk you through it as to how we're going to go ahead and cope with this. I'm currently holding on to some US dollar CAD buy positions on some of my trade ideas. I am holding on to that, so I am long on dollar. And if it does break south, I'm going to have to make sure that I re-enter again at certain levels so that when the market retests the breakout point, we can go ahead and close out at net profits. If it goes north, then clearly we're going to be in good shape right here. Now, I'm going to go ahead and get myself all set up right here, making absolutely certain that I've got everything I need here in order to make the right decision at the right time. So let's see here. And I'm doing everything from my phone right here just because it's just going to be easier. And all right, there it is. So currently right now, I'm looking at my position right now. And the news is going to be out in the next, let's take a look here. The news is going to be out in the next 20 seconds. I'm not going to do a countdown, but it's going to be real interesting. So let's take a look and see how the market reacts at this. So I'm going to go ahead and zoom it in a little closer up. This is the daily. So I'm going to go down to our lower time frame right here. This is the 4 hour. And by the way, the 4 hour also shows that we've got bullish divergence, which indicates that we could see some rally. The news is out. Let's take a look right here. The news is out, and we are, hold on, we've got some trades already starting to close out right here. All right, so we got some push. It looks like we had a big move in the Aussie, believe it or not, but you do have a bullish push right here. You see this bullish push right now? So we are moving pretty strong. This could also be a lot to do with the spread. I'm going to go into the news itself, and we'll take a look right here and see, yep, they kept the rates unchanged. So now everything comes back down to what has been said in the statement and what will be said in the press conference. Let's go back over here. We can see the market still continue to push north. If this continues, we will be expecting price to go all the way up here to 130, 134.63. Might not be there in one straight scoop, but it certainly will be over a period of time. It's pushing hard. Kept the rates unchanged. Now look at this right here. This means that this support level that we found over here is certainly holding, and we're going to continue to monitor this. Now, if I go to the 15-minute time frame, we can see that we're breaking north. If I go ahead and break this down to a 5-minute, the 5-minute is still bearish, but we're looking real bullish at this point in time. Let's go take a look at the Aussie CAD, because we saw some movement out the Aussie CAD. Aussie CAD has just gone ahead and sold off real quickly. The New Zealand CAD, it would also be indirectly affected as well. And we'll take a look here. It should be in the same direction, and it is. There it is there, a big move to the downside on New Zealand CAD. And then as we go ahead and continue, take a look at the Euro US dollar. Euro US dollar should be bearish as well, and there it is there. Now, traders, just as an example, I want to go ahead and share something with you today. This morning, we ended up closing out on 2 of our positions. We had a long on Euro US dollar. We closed out with 300 pip profit, and then we net profit, and then we closed out the New Zealand CAD that also bullish, and we closed out with that with about 180 pip net profit. We closed out those 2 trades, and now you know why. When the news is all anticipating a stronger dollar based on, well, actually the technicals are based on a stronger dollar, it makes you want to get out of things that are going to go against you, even if you're making just a little bit of profit. You know, some traders want to go ahead and chase off those 6,000, 7,000 pips on a trade, net pips. But sometimes you got to say to yourself, enough profit on this trade is just good enough to get you out before the news comes out that goes ahead and completely wipes you in the opposite direction. Now, I'm not saying that this is where the market's going to continue, but this certainly is something that I'll be real frustrated about if I was long on the, or at least still trading the New Zealand CAD and the Euro US dollar, and the market went against me. So it would be pretty frustrating. Now, another pair I want to go ahead and take a look at that I'm real excited about, and that is looking at this one right here. And this one is the CAD Swiss. There we go. We should see a bullish move. Oh, nice. A bullish move on this as well. That means, traders, that everything that we spoke about in our sessions today is exactly how the market is moving. Again, we're not completely out of the woods yet, but this is a good sign to see that based on the Fed's keeping the rate unchanged has actually created some bullishness, because what we're not hearing, and that may just be in the press conference, is the possibilities of chatter around possibly continuing to look at rate hikes, but keeping a close eye on the inflation levels, jobs, and everything else that makes it real. So let's go take a look over here. All right, so we're getting a lot of positions. Traders, this is actually a really good move that we're seeing right now. Let's go take a look at let's go to some of the JPY crosses. I'm going to look at the JPY, Aussie JPY, CAD JPY. And the reason why I'm going to look at these pairs right here is because we've seen it been building up to a point. Actually, this is not the one that I really want to look at. It's actually the CAD JPY. Let's take a look at the CAD JPY. This is the one right here. And I'm going to go to this right here. So the CAD JPY is set up with this nice rising wedge. And we've been trying to pick the top, but we've now been a little bit more patient. And we're going to wait for this to go ahead and turn around and head down south. And we're going to go ahead and trade it. Now, we may go ahead and use the 1-hour time frame to execute this trade, or at least find directional buyers, because the 4 hours is going to take way too long to go ahead and create that up. So if I look over here, I'm noticing that the 1 hour is still reasonably bullish right now, and we're not yet seeing any reversal. Now, what I'd like to see here is I'd like to see maybe a crown pattern setting up like this. And then we can start thinking about selling on the 1 hour, or maybe going down to the 5 minute, 10 minute, and selling off the 5 or 10 minute, and trade all these rallies, sell rallies in this downward move. So I like the way things are playing out today. The news has been absolutely beautiful. Let's go take a look at the pound US dollar. We should see the market heading south on that as well. And yes, very strongly. And we actually spoke about this in one of our sessions. You can see we actually had a bunch of positions that were loaded here. And we're really moving really fast towards our target right here at 125.57, 125.97. And we'll probably be taking profit a lot lower than that, but this is looking really good. So some strong movement out of the dollar. Now, let's take a look at the dollar index and take a quick squiz at the dollar index as well. And this is what's real interesting. We spoke about this in the session today again. And this is what we saw right here. We saw that the market created this swing action right here. We had a one wave one. Then the market came back up and gave us a wave two. So I'm going to do this right here. This is my wave 1 and 2. Then we had price moving down. And on this retracement, we managed to get down to the 1.618. So which means that this is an inside wave structure. So we're going to go wave 1, 2, 3 right here, 4 right here. And now at the 1.27, which is our fifth wave, look what's happening. Price is moving real aggressive, bullish again. And it's going to go all the way up here to take out my fourth wave high. So this is the reason. This is another reason why I anticipated a stronger dollar coming into this news, because all the technicals were lined up to say that exactly what's going to happen. And sometimes traders, we got to forget about what people are talking about, all the rumors going around about what's going on, the Feds, what the Feds are doing, what they're going to do. We can sort of like get an idea. Use the technicals to be able to define what the market really wants to do, right? And if the market's setting up with a good setup for a bullish move on a particular currency pair, then you could do two things. Either you go ahead and commit yourself to it, or you've already committed yourself to it, or you go ahead and you make sure that you're waiting for confirmation of the U-turn before entering the market. Just as I spoke about that one trade, we were looking for that head and shoulders or King's Crown pattern to form. And if we get that bearish King's Crown pattern forming, we can go ahead and start thinking about selling that particular pair, waiting for a little bit of confirmation. Now, I'll be honest with you, and I'm going to be real. I'm not a trader that likes to be patient. I'm not a patient trader. And so I have to do certain things to control my patience and keep me from actually getting in too early. I'm a trader that's very aggressive. And for those that have traded with me in the past, you'll know I'm a very aggressive trader. And if I get aggressive, then I have to make sure that I do a couple of things. Number one is that I have to make sure that I risk on each trade very little, because the next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be leveling in on my position. Now, I might not trade everything just like that, but when we get to a situation where price is at a level like we have right here, it makes sense for us to want to go ahead and cost average here at this level, with the anticipation that price is going to take out the next high right here. And so banking on a dollar rally is exactly what we would do on this case scenario. Now, I want to pull out something else that's so important today. So important today, if you notice how the Dow Jones opened up this morning, we opened up way below the previous open, which means that we could still see a stronger move in the Dow. If the Dow moves slightly stronger on the day, which means that it starts recovering its losses of today, then we could see a turnaround to what we're currently seeing right now as a strong dollar. Because remember, risk on, risk off means this. If the stock market is rallying, not to say that it's overall positive on the day, but if it is rallying, all right, in a short, it could be in a span of 2 hours, then that is considered to be a short-term risk on environment that we're trading, even though it's just 2 hours of the day. All right, any sort of rally in the stock market would mean that the dollar is going to fall. Now, if the dollar rallies, that means the stock market is dipping. And that's exactly what's happening right now. We're seeing the stock market dipping at the moment right now, and that's also giving us a risk off. So with them keeping the rates unchanged, it makes us believe that a lot of investors out there are a little unsure about what's going on and how things are going to be playing out. And this is why you're seeing money moving into cash and giving the dollar a big boost as we're seeing it right now. Let's keep going ahead and taking a look at this. All right. So there's it. So now let's go ahead and flip this over. Let's take a look and see what other pairs have been affected by this. Let's go to Euro Swiss right here. And so Euro Swiss is also bouncing off a key level of support right here. If we look at our daily time frame, you'll notice that we had this falling wedge. Price had gone ahead and broken out of that falling wedge. And now we're anticipating price to go all the way up to the top. Not just because of this falling wedge, but also because of this range-bound trading structure that we've got right here. And the market has tested that support a few times, and now we're expecting price to go back up to the top of the range, right up there at a 1.0080. So a good move on the Euro Swiss as well, showing also that we're getting some positive movement based on the dollar strength. So this tells us that if we see the Euro Swiss going north, that tells me that money's flowing into dollar, and that every other part of the safe haven currency pairs is starting to lose a little ground. All right. Now, that may be for the Swiss, but not necessarily for the JPY. The JPY is also a safe haven, but the JPY is also seeing some positive moves today. All right, or at least after the news. Let's take a look at the, there we go. So if you take a look over here, we are seeing a very big move that has pushed the JPY up here, and it's going to continue to push. Now, we're not seeing a lot of movement into this after this announcement. Look at this. And I'm assuming that what's going on right here, traders, is that we're getting in, we're seeing weak JPY right here, but we're seeing a strong pound. So this means that we're probably seeing a little bit of an upside move just because the JPY is not as strong. Now, that is based on the 4-hour, which means that at 1 o'clock this afternoon, we just got an update on my currency strength right here. So every 4 hours, I get an update. I got an update right now. This is where we're at right now over the last 4 hours, that we did see some JPY weakness and some pound strength. But obviously with this news that's just come out, things are going to drastically change in the next 4 hours, and we're going to see a different picture. There's no doubt about that. So it's going to be interesting to see that. Is there Spanish, says Sonia? I'm sorry, man. We did not have a Spanish session on this. My Spanish is not that great, so I'm afraid that it is not going to happen, not in Spanish. But we can certainly, I can certainly look down the line and see how we can get this into a Spanish session as well, and create some Spanish translators, or have a Spanish translator too. Hey, so quickly here, let's take a look at before we shut the session off today. Let's take a quick look at oil prices and gold. All right, so oil prices. Let's move to the daily time frame on this. So it looks like we got oil prices sitting at the support right here. So we're probably expecting oil prices to rally. If oil prices do rally, that would mean the Canadian dollar will get stronger. If Canadian dollar does get strong, that would mean that New Zealand CAD, Aussie CAD would continue to be bearish. Even though today we've seen a bearish move on it, and that is due to obviously what's happening with the US right here. But we could probably see Aussie and New Zealand dollar starting to sell off even further if we start seeing some rally in oil. And that's going to be interesting. So traders, if you're looking for some trade opportunities, some trade ideas on exactly how to be able to play some of these trades, then make sure that you use this correlation between the different currencies to be able to pick up the right trading opportunity. And I think we might be having one right there. Now, let's go ahead and continue here as I dig deeper into, I'd like to take a look at oil and see where oil's at. So not oil, but my bad. I mean gold. All right, so just a quick update on gold. What is my 2 cents on gold? I do anticipate gold to fall further down south, down to about 1,800. So we're in a little bit of consolidation at the moment right now. Nothing's really happening, but I'm suspecting a breakout to the downside and then a move all the way down to 1,800. This is the long-term outlook on gold. Right now, in the short term, as I just mentioned, we're inside the range. So there's not a lot happening right now. Probably good for scalping. All right, good for getting in and out, scalping the market right here. Gold is definitely set up for that right now. But once it breaks through that support level, I think it's going to be more bearish than we have bullish. So watch out for that breakout to the downside. It does look interesting as we see it right now. All right, back to the dollar index. Dollar index is losing a little ground off that rally, but it should still continue its momentum. If we go take a look at US dollar CAD. US dollar CAD is trading now at 33.35. We got a long ways to go before our profit targets on this, so I'm still bullish on this. But this is a good little move that we're seeing right now. Everything we're seeing right now is absolutely what we need from this pair to see some strength come in over the next few days. So I'm excited about what the market's done today. I like the way we have this nice little push today. This push has really set us up for things to come between now and next week. I think that we're going to continue to see some stronger dollar over the course of the next week. We will keep an eye on the dollar index and the structure of that to see how far the dollar can go before it starts weakening again, because I do believe, and that may just be me, that we will see dollar eventually getting extremely weak due to everything that's happening here in the U.S. All right, we're talking about political issues. We're talking about economical issues. We're talking about just the oil issue. There's a whole bunch of things that needs to still be straightened out over here before we start seeing some stronger dollar. But right now, I think a short-term rally in the dollar would be good. After a few good rallies, we might have to start thinking about dollar weakness, but wait until we get to that level before we make that decision. Traders, with that being said, hopefully you guys enjoyed the session today. I had a quick update on what we're currently seeing right now, what we're going to currently continue to see over the next course of the next few days to the next week. And we'll go ahead and keep an eye on that. And I'm going to go ahead and try and put out some more of these sessions a week, at least one of these sessions a week, giving you guys a quick update on the market. It'll probably be on a Wednesday, do like a Wednesday update around about 1 o'clock to 2 o'clock in the afternoon, according to our schedule. So if you have not subscribed to this channel, make sure you go ahead and do that. Subscribe to the channel, click the subscribe button. Make sure you also click on the notification bell so that when I start pushing out more of these videos out in the week, that every time I go live, you guys will know about it and you will get notified on that as well. And maybe I'll bring in some Spanish translators from time to time so we can go ahead and get that also out there as well, and everyone can get some sort of feedback on what's going on with the market. So with that being said, traders, thank you very much for joining. Appreciate you all. Have a fantastic afternoon. Have a fantastic week. And I will see you next time. This is FX Big Dog signing off.